All right. So now let's say when we use inurl cloud, every result we see in which in every URL there is a cloud. But similarly, when we use site LinkedIn www.linkedin.com/in, the first command is true and the second command is also true. This cloud emoji is basically is anywhere. It could be either in the URL or it could be either in the like if you see this is in the URL, this is in the URL. If you see this one, though it's showing in the title, but it's not there in the URL, I believe. Yeah, it's not here in the URL. So the benefit of using in URL is basically we can use it multiple times. But similarly, when I wanted to use it site, will I be able to use it multiple times? Site linkedin.com/in. Again, site :cloud. It wouldn't show any results. It throws an error because there is no site. There is no website which has a cloud image. But if the same pattern, if we are using instead of site, and another benefit of in URL, you can use it along with site linkedin.com/in, again in URL cloud. So both will go through. You'll get also the results from the linkedin.com and also the results in which the cloud is appearing in the URL. But when we are using site, it's very much restricted and we are only X-raying that one particular site. We can't X-ray multiple sites as well. In future, we'll try to see in case if X-raying multiple sites allow us to X-ray. But in previous sessions, we did explore X-raying multiple site is kind of allowing, but the results were kind of a false positive, not that accurate. And if it is accurate, then how to find in that we'll cover in a future session. But otherwise, for now, if you see when we use site linkedin.com/in and then again in URL cloud image, we started getting the result of profiles which has a cloud everywhere in the URL part. And I'm really surprised, or I'm really excited to see that not just these cloud, but some other clouds are also coming in. So we just kept a cloud emoji here. But if you see, there are some other images which are the cloud images which are not as it is like this. But if you say this is a different cloud, and Google is also understanding, okay, fine, this person might be, this human must be interested in seeing some other clouds also. So image also it's detecting and it's giving the similar images. Now let's say some of the diversity, what they might use. In URL, we don't really have results with this. Let's see some more.
Hi Shiv, this is Purnima. Shiv, how are you finding those figures? From where are you?
I'm on my Mac, and on Mac I have one touch bar. In that I can see those emojis. So if you are on a Windows, then it is Windows plus dot. You will be able to see the emojis and you'll be able to search for the emojis.
Windows plus dot.
Yeah. Just see.
Can you just put that in the notes also, please?
Sure. I'll add that.
Thank you.
Let's see, not this. I'm not going to give this, it just for this thing, but we'll build one. So thumb rule when we use in URL, there is no space between these keywords also. We might get some cybersecurity professions, or let's see what kind of professions. Some doctors, some lawyers, give some various, no? Some hackers. No, we don't have. Let's see, in URL. Let's see. Profiles, we have it, but do we have those emojis in the URL? Maybe we don't have emojis in the URL, but somewhere in the text or somewhere in the name and all, people would have mentioned the emojis, but not in the URL. Let's say something else we search. So it's not there in the URL, but it's basically here. Searchability. Nice. Okay, let's try something else. In URL. If not in URL, just the keyword like this. Or else what else? In URL cloud, I've seen number of times. Anything else that you would have seen in URL, such kind of images, the way we used here for the cloud, lightning. Okay, in URL, both the things we want, even the lightning we want. So he's not just the Salesforce, but he's also a lightning developer. So just take this. As I mentioned, in URL, we can use multiple types. Yeah, now we have a Salesforce and lightning in the URLs. But if you see the first command, okay, now similarly, instead of in URL, we can use site. Okay, and then in URL cloud, in URL lightning. So we get, okay, all the results who has both the things in the URL. Now let's say if we say in URL lights or cloud. Like this. So we get the results, either a cloud or a lightning in the URL. All right, let's say this person says Salesforce certified. Now, if you see now that certification also, okay, fine, I'm certified Salesforce or some achievement, they would have mentioned in their profile, sorry, in the URL, like this person, Manish Gupta. Interesting? Yes, no, good, bad.
Yes, chef.
Yeah, so here is a lightning, here is the cup, because this person might have mentioned something like that. All right, so in URL is basically a pretty much open-ended, and it could be used multiple times with the Boolean operators, but site is not completely open-ended. It's more closed-ended. When we know the specific website and how does the URL part of that website for the individual profile looks like, and that's where we use only site, and we can target only one specific site at a time. But wherein in URL is not restricted to that. Let me just mention the search is.
Shiv, one more question. Like, can we even X-ray meetup.com as well?
Anything.
Here using in URL.
Anything.
Okay.
Just a second. All right. So basically site and if it could be an interview question also. Especially I would love to ask this question.
Absolutely right, Shiv.
Basically,
Technically, you have catch one point to grill more recruiters now. To grill more recruiters.
yeah. Exact link or format of URL. URL लिखो. Yeah. Basically, the operator site is more of closed ended, which can be used when we know the exact link or format of URL. And the start and the and the given result starts showing us and the shown results will no and the given result. Results will have the keywords. Basically, the operator site is more of a closed-ended, which can be used when we know the exact link or a format of a URL to the individual profiles or a job or any content. URL to URL of individual profiles, jobs, or content. Searching for. And the given result will have the keyword used after site. Will have the keywords used after site immediately. Immediately. We'll have all the list of results. So if you see here, site linkedin.com/in, then every result is basically starting from in.linkedin. So in a backend, it's a linkedin.com/in. Though here we are saying in.linkedin.com, that's an old format. Before 2017 or 2016 format it is, where it was different for every country. For India, it was IN. For Sweden, it was DE. For Netherlands, it was NL.LinkedIn. For Singapore, it was sg.linkedin.com. So it was like that. But now it has completely gone. Centrally, LinkedIn has told, okay, now we'll get all the individual profiles under one child, and we'll name each child's child separately, but the child name would remain same. The folder name for the individual profiles would remain same. And the path after that would go either a person can customize, or it would be a combination of their first name hyphen middle name hyphen last name. If there is no middle name, then it would be a combination of first name hyphen last name. So now after opening, though we are seeing it's in.linkedin, but in a backend, once you open, if you see, it has become now linkedin.com/in for a individual profile filter, then / first name hyphen middle name hyphen that cloud. So here also it's www.linkedin.com/in. Here also the same. Here also the same. And all the results, if you see, it's starting from linkedin.com/in. But wherein, coming back to this, you can enlarge and see whenever you're viewing. All right. However, However, in URL is more of be used multiple times in combination with site URL. However, in URL is more open-ended and fetches the result from the entire URL. More open-ended as it fetches the result, fetches us the results from the entire URL. That means the keyword could be anywhere. The given keyword or image in URL colon could be anywhere. Could be anywhere in entire URL. Below are examples. Okay. However, in URL is more open-ended as it fetches us a result from the entire URL. That means the given keyword or image after in URL could be anywhere in the entire URL. Below are few examples and can be used multiple times in combination of site or in URL. Again, in URL linkedin.com/in URL. I'll just take a pause. Any doubts, any questions on this? Any confusion? Though in URL and site are doing the same job, but why two operators when both of them are doing the same job? Yes, no, please ask questions.
It's
I
clear.
think it's
Shiv.
quite clear.
Quite clear, right? I think
Yeah.
there's a huge lot of difference between the amount of understanding we had 3-4 sessions ago about in URL and site and today.
Absolutely, Shiv. As you
Yeah,
said
yes, yes.
previously, while we keep on repeating this session, we can learn, we can understand easily. So same thing is happening now.
Yeah. Yeah, Purnima, you
Yeah,
want
these
to?
notes are really very helpful.
Yeah. Even just go through the videos in case
Practice.
you're not able to catch up on it, then definitely you can also go through the videos. It's been updated as it happens. So day before yesterday's, I'm yet to update. Yesterday I wasn't here, so I'll update and send it tonight or tomorrow. Day before yesterday's and today's. Any further questions? Any doubt? Uh, Anything? Please do ask. What is site colon and what is in URL colon? Okay. So there are few thumb rules. Are the operators in URL site related or sensitive? Yes. And these operators. All right. Are the operator in URL site related colon are case sensitive? Answer is yes. And this operator must be written in small case or small letters. Okay. So are the keywords is case sensitive?
No.
We did covered in past. So the keywords case sensitive, even though they are written in double quotes or with command in text. Yes, no.
No, Shiv.
Sure. Are the key? Huh? Say something. Yes, no. Even though if they're written with double quotes or if they're written with what is it? Uh, with in
Capital.
text. Huh?
Given in capital letters.
So is this
Shiv, I
correct?
think that
Hmm.
is false. That is not correct. It seems Shiv. LinkedIn.com. That should be in smalls because because it is a website address, right? We are hitting.
Hmm.
Most of the website address would be in small letters. If I'm not wrong.
There would be a website address which can be in capital letters also, but this is a part of a keyword. It's not a part of a operator here. Site is operator, but LinkedIn.com, we are writing in capital letter with the double quotes. Is it true?
It's false.
From my side also it's
Actually,
false.
it's actually true. Okay, wait a second. This double quotes has messed up. Sorry. And the reason it is false because when we use double quotes immediately after site, it doesn't work. If this site replaces with in URL, it would work. So one use case we did cover that in past.
More that
When we use site, that double quotes, this when we use site colon and then double quote, site would not understand, but wherein in URL will understand. So in URL, now here also, if you see, we got from Quora because this linkedin.com/in is somewhere in the URL here. Okay, so linkedin.com/in is somewhere in the URL here. So that's the reason we just got this one. But otherwise, the rest of the results, if we go and then we see, we have linkedin.com/in, and that linkedin.com/in could be anywhere in the URL. Similarly, if we go with the site, so another drawback of site is it doesn't understand the double quotes when we give enough that word. But if you use in URL, you'll understand. So in URL, that linkedin.com. So this text, okay, though it is in a small letters, but still it's coming. The reason, because keywords are not case sensitive, whatever the case it is. Okay. So for example, no, keywords are not case sensitive, whatever the use case it may be. However, Google won't, or why it won't, but okay, site after site we are giving, but why it is working for in URL, why it is not working for site? What could be the reason? So as soon as we go for site colon, you don't understand. But
Maybe the space, after the site. After the site, there is a space, no?
No, if
Colon we are given, no?
No, there is no space actually. It's a double quote. It's not a space. But if I give a space, it will again work. But it will take a results in a combination of site, linkedin.com/in URL or this. So though we got the result, but that's not the right result because it's basically understanding it as a 3 different keywords. Now, if you see, we got from other websites also, all events and all. So what it's doing is like, it's taking site as a keyword, linkedin.com/in as a keyword, in URL, this thing as a keyword. So that's the reason we are getting it. But if I remove this space, it will start working. But similarly, instead of site, in URL, if we do, it would stop working. Let's ask this question in some forums. Interesting observation. So follow these groups: SourceCon, Talent Sourcer, Secret Sourcing Group, Sourcers Who Got Code. You'll get a lot of what we say, this stuff. Anyways, we're going to close the session with design thinking for recruiters and when and where to ask which questions. In that, again, we'll cover which groups to follow and all. But otherwise, let's ask in this group now. Sure. Why? In URL. URL. Not sure why in URL colon linkedin.com/in